Good morning students. Today we will study about chapter number 6. The name of the chapter is Changes Around Us. Changes around us मतलब क्या? हम लोग हमारी डेली लाइफ में हर रोज चेंजेस देखते हैं. Which are the changes we are seeing according to our daily life? That is the occurrence of day and night. कि दिन में से रात होती है, वो भी occurrence of day and night. That is a changes which takes place around us. Then occurrence changes of weather. वेदर चेंजेस होता है, सुबह को धूप होती है, दोपहर के बाद ज़्यादा धूप होगी, शाम को गर्मी ठंडी मौसम, ऐसे वेदर भी चेंजेस होता रहता है. अकॉर्डिंग टू सीजन्स ऑल्सो वेदर गेट चेंजेस. That is the changes takes place in our daily life. Same way we can say that blooming of flowers, season wise flowers bloom करते हैं कि हर एक सीजन में all types of flowers सब सीजन में नहीं होंगे, तो different seasons takes place and that of a blooming of flowers also takes place according to season. So these are the changes which we see according to our daily life. So that for that some of the also changes which occur around us, they are also natural changes also and man-made changes also. So for this detailed explanation of this chapter, what are the changes, which are the kinds of changes, that is natural change, man-made change. Then it comes in which change, reversible, irreversible, physical, chemical, this all detailed explanation that see in the video.
Everything in this universe undergoes a change. In our daily life, we observe many changes around us. Change is the law of nature and can be observed by us at all times and at all places. Some of the changes occurring are natural, such as change of seasons, formation of clouds, weathering of rocks, formation of glaciers, flowering of plants, ripening of fruits, formation of day and night, and beating of the heart. Some changes are man-made, such as cooking of food, burning of oil, weaving of cloth, production of food grains, and dissolving of sugar in water. There are some changes that are useful to us and we want them to take place. For example, the burning of LPG or wood or coal is a desirable change because the heat produced by its burning is used to cook food and for other heating purposes. Some more desirable changes are formation of curd from milk, cleaning of dirty utensils, ripening of fruits. So, the changes that are useful to us and that we want to take place are called desirable changes. But there are some other changes that are harmful to us. The spoiling of food materials by bacteria or fungi is an undesirable change. This spoiled food becomes unfit for eating. It becomes waste. The occurrence of earthquake is also an undesirable change as it leads to loss of life and property. Some more undesirable changes are flooding of rivers, eruption of volcanoes, occurrence of landslides, forest fires. So, the changes that are harmful to us and that we do not want to take place are called undesirable changes. So, some changes are desirable and some are undesirable. It is for this reason that the study of changes around us becomes significant to us. They affect our day-to-day life. We will study them under the following headings: Reversible and irreversible changes. Activity 1. To study the effect of hanging a weight on a spring, the effect when it is removed. Things needed: Spring, hook for support, weight. Method, take a spring and suspend it from a support. Hang a weight to the lower end of this spring. It gets stretched and its length increases. Remove the weight. The spring comes back to its original length. The stretching of a spring, as we have seen in the above activity, is an example of a reversible change. The change that can be reversed easily to obtain a substance in its original form is called a reversible change. When we heat ice, it melts to form liquid water. Now, if we cool this water, it again changes into ice. So, the changing of ice into water has been reversed by cooling. Thus, melting of ice is a reversible change. When we boil water, it changes into steam. Now, if we cool the steam, it again changes into water. So, the changing of water into steam has been reversed by cooling. Thus, the boiling of water is a reversible change. Activity 2. To study the formation of curd from warm milk. Things needed: container, warm milk, a spoonful of curd. Method. Take warm milk in a container. Add a spoonful of curd in the warm milk and stir it thoroughly. Cover the container with a glass plate and keep aside for 4 to 5 hours. Observation. We notice that after 4 to 5 hours, the milk in the container changes into curd. It is semi-solid. It has a sour smell and tastes different from milk. Milk, liquid, sweet taste, is converted to curd, semi-solid, sour taste. We can convert milk into curd, but can we convert curd into milk? No, we cannot convert curd back to milk. The change that cannot be reversed to obtain a substance back into its original form is called an irreversible change. Some more examples of irreversible changes are burning of paper, aging of man, weathering of rocks, grinding of wheat grains into flour, cooking of food, and burning of crackers. How to make changes take place? We have studied many examples of changes. Let us know how these changes can be brought about. Some ways by which we can bring about changes are heating and cooling, applying pressure, and mixing. Let us study them in detail. Changes caused by heating or cooling. Heating or cooling can cause many kinds of changes. Some important ones are discussed. Change in temperature. When we heat water using a gas stove, then the temperature of water rises and it becomes hot. Objects become hot on heating. Similarly, if we keep the water in a refrigerator for some time, then the temperature of water falls and it becomes cold. Objects become cold on cooling. The heating and cooling process goes on in nature due to the heat from the sun. The days are warm, the nights are cool. Summer is hot, winter is cold. Land breeze and sea breeze are also caused by the heating and cooling of land and sea water. Expansion and contraction. There are many materials that expand, that is, increase in size on heating, and contract, that is, decrease in size on cooling. For example, metals like iron and aluminium expand on heating and contract on cooling. Let us understand how it works. Fixing of iron rim of Bullock-Cart wheel. Bullock-Carts have wooden wheels. These wooden wheels are fitted with iron rims to make them last longer. The iron rim is made slightly smaller in size than the wooden wheel. The ironsmith heats this iron rim uniformly over a dry dung cake fire. On heating, the iron rim expands and becomes somewhat bigger in size. This hot iron rim is now easily put around the wooden wheel. Water is then poured over the hot iron rim to cool it. On cooling, the hot iron rim contracts, shrinks, and fits tightly around the wooden wheel. Inserting of iron blade. Tools such as spades and plows are used for digging soil. The iron blade of these tools has a ring, oval-shaped hole, in which the wooden handle is fixed. Normally, the ring is made slightly smaller in size than the wooden handle. The ironsmith heats this ring of the iron blade over dry dung cake fire. On heating, the ring expands and becomes somewhat bigger in size. Now, the wooden handle easily fits into the hot ring. Water is now poured over the hot ring to cool it. When the ring cools down, it contracts and fits tightly on the wooden handle. Change in state of matter. We have already learned that heating and cooling help us bring about a change in the state of matter. For example, on heating, ice, solid state, changes to water, liquid state, and water, liquid state, changes to steam, gaseous state. Similarly, on cooling, steam, gaseous state, changes to water, liquid state, and water, liquid state, changes to ice, solid state. Burns on heating. Whenever a combustible substance, for example, paper, coal, and kerosene is heated, it starts burning. Light a candle and observe it. After some time, we see that the size of the candle changes. The change is irreversible. Similarly, when paper is heated, it burns and turns into ashes. This is also an irreversible change. Change is caused by pressure. Pressure can cause many kinds of changes. Some important ones are discussed. Change in shape and size. Blow up a balloon. Force air into the balloon by applying pressure from your mouth. Observe that the shape and size of the balloon changes. Now, let the air escape from the balloon. The balloon deflates and the shape and size again changes. Similarly, if we press fluffy solids like a cushion, a loaf, or a ball of wool, their shape changes. When the pressure is released, they get back to their original shape. Metals can be given desired shapes by applying pressure. A tire tube changes its shape and size when inflated. A gas balloon changes its shape and size when filled with gas. Breaking objects. When pressure is applied on brittle substances, for example, glass, biscuits, and coal, they break into pieces. It is an irreversible change. Changes caused by mixing. We can bring about many changes, reversible and irreversible, or physical and chemical, by mixing substances. For example, when we dissolve salt in water to obtain salt solution, it is a physical change. In the previous chapter, we learned how to separate salt from its solution in water. So, we can say that it is a reversible change. When quicklime is mixed with water, it is converted into slaked lime. It is a chemical change. Also, it is an irreversible change.
Conclusion देना है. So, lastly, what we have studied in this chapter, that changes around us. We have seen many changes occurring around us, that is natural change and human-made changes. In that also, there are the many changes which comes in this human-made and natural changes, that is reversible change. We have also studied about irreversible change, physical change and chemical change, and also even we have studied how to make changes that takes place, that is there are different methods which we have seen, that is changes take caused by heating and cooling. चेंजेस किस किस वजह से होता है, एक हमने वो भी देखा, चेंजेस कॉज्ड बाय हीटिंग एंड कूलिंग, चेंजेस कॉज्ड बाय प्रेशर, चेंजेस कॉज्ड बाय मिक्सिंग. So we have studied this many topics. Hope you have understood well. Thank you students. Thank you very much.